Alright, this is chapter 7, lesson 3. This is scientific notation. Okay? We're going to start with going from standard form to scientific notation. Standard form will be these yellow numbers here, where in this case it's 201 million, and this one is 0.000051. Okay? Step 1, going from standard to scientific notation, move the decimal until it is directly to the right of the first non-zero digit. So your number will end up being between 1 and 10. In this case, move our decimal until we are here, 2.01, that's between 1 and 10. And if we have a decimal, we move it here this way to where that's 5.1, a number between 1 and 10. Step 2, we count the number of places we moved our decimal, and we note which direction we moved. In this case, we moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to the left. And on this one, the decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the right. So now we got our number between 1 and 10, and how many times we moved it, and which direction. So, if we move the decimal to the left, our number is going to be whatever our number between 1 and 10 is, times 10 to however many places we moved it. That will be a positive number. If we moved it right, it's our number between 1 and 10 times 10 to the number we moved it, but this one will be negative. So this one, we moved it 8 places to the left. We got our number between 1 and 10, so that goes here. 2.01 times 10, and this is a positive 8 because we went left. On this one, we moved it right, so it's 5.1 times 10, and it'll be negative 5 because we moved it to the right. Now, if we're trying to go the opposite direction, they're going to give us a times 10 to the n. So this will be our number between 1 and 10, and this will be the number of places we're going to be moving it. If this number here is bigger than 0, which is not a negative, we move the decimal back to the right that many places. So in this case, 6.32 times 10 to the 9th. We have 6.32. We're going to move it 9 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's a bunch of stuff missing here, and all we do is insert zeros, and we put commas in to separate our hundreds, our thousands, our millions, our billions, our trillions, and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, if the number is negative, if it's less than 0, we're going to be moving the decimal to the left. So here we have 4 times 10 to the negative 7. If you just have a number by itself, there is a decimal point here. You just cannot see it. It's the same as 4.0. So our decimal here, we're moving it 7 places to the left because it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Insert our zeros and move our decimal over there. And our number now looks like this. And that's how you go from scientific back to standard. Now comes everything we've learned so far applying to scientific notation. Multiplying with scientific notation, the instructions will say evaluate, and it'll give you this, and it'll say express result in both scientific notation and standard. So once you figure this out, I'm going to see it both ways. It's got to have it both ways. Okay, so we have 3.5 times 10 to the negative third times 7 times 10 to the fifth. First thing we want to do is group. Take our two numbers in between 1 and 10, multiply them together, 3.5 times 7. And then we have 10 to the negative third times 10 to the fifth. Product of powers on this one, negative 3 plus 5 gives us 2. And then this is just calculator work, gives us 24.5. Next thing we need to do, if this number is not in between 1 and 10, which a lot of times it won't be, we need to change this into scientific notation also. So we learn all we got to do is move this decimal 1 place to the left, get 2.45 times 10 to the first, because we moved it one time. And then that's times 10 to the second. And our product of powers says this 1 plus this 2 gives us 10 to the third. So it's our number 2.45 times 10 to the third. That's scientific notation. Now I got to change it to standard form. All I got to do, this says I move it to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, insert a 0, 2,450 is our standard form. It has to have both if it says to have both, otherwise it is not completely correct. Now when we divide, it'll say evaluate, and it'll also say express in both scientific notation and standard. So we have 3.066 times 10 to the 8th and 7.3 times 10 to the 3rd. First thing we do is we group everything. 3.066 over 7.3 and 10 to the 8th over 10 to the 3rd. This is just quick calculator work. We get 0.42. And then this one we learned, that's just basically 10 to the 8 minus 3, so 10 to the 5th. From here, this is not a number between 1 and 10. We got to change it to scientific notation. So in this case, we move our decimal to the right to make it 4.2. When we move it to the right, it's now 10 to the negative 1. And that times 10 to the 5th. So our product of power says take the negative 1 plus 5. Negative 1 plus 5 gives us 4, or you could do 5 minus 1. It works the same way. Either way, we're losing a place here, so it'll be 10 to the 4th, just like that. So 4.2, now in between 1 and 10, times 10 to the 4th. That is our scientific notation. So now all we need is standard form. This says move the decimal 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, which I did down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Insert my zeros and my commas, and I have my standard form and my scientific notation. Just remember, your positive numbers here are going to be your big numbers, your millions and billions and stuff like that. Your negative numbers are going to be your decimal points. So it'll be like 0.000000, however many you need to get the right number. Homework, page 419, 1 through 20, and we will be going over 4 of them in class. But I'm not going to tell you which ones right now. You have to wait and see. Okay, that's it.